up? It's Aaron Moses, and this video is to help you assess your own sense of spirituality, man. There's a lot of things that I want to say, there's a lot of places I want to start, but a lot of people seem to misunderstand what spirituality is. A lot of people practice religions and don't understand what they're doing exactly. Um, I was watching the show, an episode of Empire where I forgot the chick's name, but she was telling Lucius that you can have light without darkness, and that's a myth. And that's not true. Spirituality is everything. Is everything. It's a beautiful chaos. Chaos meaning everything and nothing. Okay? That's just what it is. Now, where I want to start is I was watching a Bobby Hemmett lecture, and he was talking about how in myths, as time went on, people began to lose spirituality and became more religious as time went on. This is why you can't just study Christianity and follow Christianity only, Judaism, Kemetic sciences, Islam. You have to study all of them because these religions and these ideologies are so old. When you study one, or when you only believe in one, you only get pieces of it, no matter which one it is. Okay, whether that be some kind of African tradition, whether that be some kind of Middle Eastern tradition, whether that be some kind of Far East tradition, whether that be some kind of Native American tradition, if you don't study all of them, if you don't have pieces, if you don't put the pieces of the puzzle together, you're only going to have the corner pieces of a huge puzzle, right? So, where we've gone as a people, it started with the spirit, it started with spirituality, people understanding that everything that we do is for a purpose. Certain things need to be weeded out, certain things need to be encouraged. Okay? We go from, even if you look at these myths, let's look at the myths. You go from a myth, there was a dark spirit and there was a light spirit. Then hundreds of years later, there was a great tiger that spoke to a bear. He climbed down a mountain. Things, even just how we practice as a people, from connecting with the universe to, okay, well, that's too hard, takes too much time. Let's just connect with nature and the animals because they're the physical mental. They're closer to to the universe than we are because they have a smaller mental body and they just act off instincts. And they're just beautiful, and they're just like in the Quran says. It says that non-human beings are closer to Allah than human beings are because they're in a constant state of meditation. So technically, they're Muslims. So we have to like treat them a specific way. Even there, look how that was expressed. I think that's a beautiful statement, but then it lowers itself again to religion. Religion, separation of specific ideologies, codes, morals. The codes and morals were there with the spirituality, with the nature and the animals. Is always there, but now this is where we begin to label things dark and light. This is where the separation comes in. This is where people start using words like toxic masculinity, and this is an example of this. This is the birth. This is the mother of things like this: body shaming, toxic masculinity. This is where it comes in. Races, things like that. Then then we start creating human gods. We start looking inward at the pieces of our brain, the pieces of our subconscious mind, the heart, like separating the water from the fire, separating the mountain from the sky, putting our own ego into it, and saying that there's a physical representation that looks just like me, so I can more closely relate to the universe, which is actually the opposite. Which is why I'm making this video for, because of a meditation that I did a couple hours ago. Then we have the worship of man. Of course, what's going to happen if you think your God or the tree God or the mountain God looks like you, somebody's going to come along and fill those shoes for the people who are not as spiritually inclined or don't have enough time, whatever it may be. And they're going to play on your emotions, and they're going to play on your want and your need for there to be something tangible, something for them to touch, something for them to clap at, applaud, something for them to give their money to, something for them to talk about and to be on one accord. This is where people start to become, of course, more egotistical. Because the thing about everything above there being a, what's the word I'm looking for, bro? Everything above there being a personification of the spirit realm, nature, animals, all these stories, all these codes and morals. Everything above that is pretty much your own opinion. Everybody has their own relationship with, I'm just gonna use the word God. Everybody has their own relationship with God. Everybody has their own perception of God. You could read this even when we start to get into these books. You can read that book and somebody might say, you know what? Maybe that's not how God is now. Maybe God has a really good sense of humor. He made a platypus. Maybe he's a really funny guy. Maybe he invented humor. Somebody might say, I don't know, man. This guy God seems pretty serious. I'm kind of scared of him. And other people might not feel that way. Other people may not fear that it's sinful to not be afraid of God all the time. Other people are in constant fear that they're not gonna go to heaven when they die. That's why they're afraid to die. Other people never doubted it. Other people don't think they have to repent every day. And when we start adding these books and these humans and making them a part of the religion, this is where it becomes the exact opposite of spiritual. Because the flesh is the exact opposite of the spirit, bro. This is where all these desires that you don't know how to, that you can't control. This is where all this hardwiring that takes away a lot of your choices, all this hardwiring that can be easily triggered, easily manipulated to get you to do things that you didn't even plan on doing ever. This is where this comes in. That's not, you can't do that to the soul, my guy. Can't do that. You can't. Okay? So when we get there, we get to these books, man. We get to these texts. We get to these actions. We get to these buildings and everything that comes with an actual religion. I know a lot of people, and when I heard this statement, I was like, that's powerful. A lot of people don't even worship God or Jesus. They worship Christianity. They worship the lifestyle of Christianity, or they worship a book. A lot of people don't. A lot of people aren't Christians. They're biblical, bro. They just worship the Bible. It has nothing to do with Jesus. It has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with Muhammad. It has nothing to do with Allah. It has everything to do with the ideology and the words that a man wrote in a holy text that they don't even fully understand. So if you are, again, if you're religious, I'm not bashing you or anything like that, but ask yourself, do you actually worship the God that you serve, that you're supposed to be serving, these angels and all these beings that come with God, or do you worship the Bible? Do you worship the Bible? Do you worship church? Do you worship your pastor or your priest? Do you worship the lifestyle of Christianity, the results that Christianity can deliver if you follow it and you're just the chosen one? I know a lot of people who are Christians who are just living a horrible lifestyle. A lot of people are actually serious Christians and they are animated by the force. And the only reason that they're alive is because they have a real relationship with the person that they call God or Jesus. And they are, you can feel it, and you can feel it. They're not even alive off their own energy. They're being animated by the spirit of God, Jesus, whatever it is, the angels. And you can feel it, and it's a very interesting feeling. But that's, you know why? Because he doesn't worship the Bible. Because they don't worship the Bible. They use it as a guide on their path to get to the source. But if you don't do it, if that's not what it is, then you're gonna fail. You're gonna lose. You're gonna come back here and you're gonna have to do it again. So ask yourself that. Can you really be a really, really good Christian without using the Bible? That's what you're supposed to be able to do. I mean, yeah, you're supposed to study it and use it as a reference, but it's an inanimate object. You cannot you can't live off the Bible, but you can live off God or Jesus or Muhammad or Allah, whoever. You can do that. I've seen it. It feels interesting. So make sure you're making, if you're going to be religious, which I don't recommend, make sure you're making the right choices, bro, because I was always taught. Yes, I believed in a religion for from 19 to about 22, 3 years, 3 or 4 years. But I understood that there's something bigger than this religion. This is to be transcended. In all religions, the main goal is to be one with the highest frequency in that religion, to be one with Allah, to be one with God, and to be one with whoever it is. To be one with, whether it be a polytheistic religion, to be one with the gods, to be on the same level as them, or to exhibit the same behaviors. So this is where what would Jesus do comes in, this Christ-like Godhead. This is where this comes in. And if you don't think you can do that, if you don't think you can do that without the Bible, then I don't know. But the whole point of it is to be to have the same energy, to have the same habits, to have the same feelings, thoughts, to be in constant connection, to be one, to transcend our religion. It's not about the book. It's not about the lifestyle. It's not about the religion. It's about the energy. I mean, yes, the lifestyle, but it it can be obtained with you focusing on something so low. That doesn't even make sense. You have to transcend these religions. You think God has a religion? So why do you have a religion? You think God reads the Bible every day? God is the Bible, bro. This is where the Bible is supposedly comes from. So you're pretty much, I mean, if you're not using it how it's supposed to be used, if you're not ready to transcend, then you don't even know what you're doing as a Christian or a Muslim or whatever you do. God doesn't read the Bible every day, or the Quran, or the Torah, or the Rig Veda. None of that. He doesn't have to. He just does it. It just happens because he programmed like that. Okay, so make sure you understand what you're doing with your time. Make sure you understand that it's not, a lot of the times it's not that hard, and a lot of the times it's not what you think it is, bro. You can make this, you can do it the easy way, or you can do it the hard way. But that's it, guys. It's Aaron Moses. Life is in the breath. Breathe it in. Peace.